Today we're going to talk about variation in sexual behavior.
Variation in sexual behavior is pretty self-explanatory. It's any variation from standard sex. Then of course it goes into what we would call paraphilia, which becomes an intense overcoming need to do something sexual that becomes an obsession and a compulsion.
So kind of like Kat said, there's a lot of different variations in sexual behavior because it's basically anything beyond vanilla sex. You know, you're talking anything like exhibitionism, where you want to be seen having sex, so you have sex in a public place or someplace where you might get caught.
And then on the flip side, you have voyeurs who really enjoy watching other people do sexual acts and they get off on that.
Then there's things like fetishism, where it can be an obsession with feet or an obsession with a smell like leather or, even like silk sheets.
And then of course you have sadism and masochism. Sadism being where you need or want to hurt another person for sexual satisfaction. Masochism being the flip side, where you want to be hurt.
You also have such things like frauderism, which is where people walk up to someone unexpected and rub up against them sexually. It's kind of a weird form of rape in some cases.
Then of course you have, asexuality. Someone who isn't turned on by anyone or anything. They just don't see the appeal of sex.
On the flip side, you also have hypersexuality, also known as nymphomania, where basically you can't get enough sex. You want to sleep with everyone all the time and do whatever you can possibly do, or, well, that's what society sees it as.
And then everyone's favorite to make fun of or show in the movies, transvestism, which is not at all the same as transgender. It has nothing to do with wanting to be the other gender. It's all about getting sexual gratification from dressing up as the opposite sex.
So now that we've talked about all the different variations, obviously sometimes it can have a consequence if it goes too far. Things like frauderism and exhibitionism and even voyeurism can turn into legal consequences, jail time, court dates, fines, being deemed a sex offender. A lot of things that just aren't very pleasant just for some sexual satisfaction, but it is really important to watch for the signs of someone who is engaging too much in a variation of sexual behavior if it's gone too far.
Then of course, if it's getting in the way of your sex life, it's gone too far. If you need this act or this object to get sexual satisfaction, it's a problem. And that's where we get into how to diagnose and treat these. Diagnoses generally come from trained professionals, sex therapists, psychologists in general. They can use a ton of different ways to actually diagnose it, but generally it's just if it's a problem, whether it be a legal problem or a problem where you can't have sex without it, that's probably going to be what's considered a paraphilia. And as far as treatment goes, it really depends on the source of your paraphilia. Was it something that happened to you in your childhood that you just have to go through counseling to deal with? Or is it something, that's literally changed in your brain where you need medication? It really just depends on your paraphilia and where it comes from. And if you think you have a paraphilia, definitely don't hesitate to go to a psychologist, to a sex therapist, to anyone you can think of that can help you to treat it.
Another sign that you might want to just talk to someone about it is if it's something you're hiding from everyone. If you have a sexual partner and you have this fetish that no one knows about, including your sexual partner, that might be a reason to either talk to them or talk to a professional and find out if it's a problem or if it's just normal and you're embarrassed about it.
Although we've talked a lot about these things being a problem legally or in your sex life. There are a lot of things that could just be your preference. If you like some handcuffs, that's totally cool. Don't feel embarrassed, do what makes you happy until it becomes a problem in your life.
As long as you're not hurting anyone and you're not doing anything illegal, go ahead and have fun. Just make sure you're being safe about it and you think it through before you do it.
And make sure everything is consensual.
And always remember to stay smart
Stay safe
and stay classy.